Can you believe I've been wearing this hair all day and it's only now that it started to drive me absolutely insane? Anyway, Merry Christmas everybody! I hope you all had a wonderful day. We are here to talk about Wonder Woman 1984, which I watched today right at 12 when it did drop. Hopefully you have seen this, as we are going to be discussing this movie with spoilers included. I wanted to include a little bit of a something in my background, so that's what we have going on here. We got a little Grogu that I got for Christmas, as well as little Diana in her Santa hat, which I actually got a couple years ago in my bag I normally wear. But if you're new here, welcome. My name is Audrey. I think after this week I do 2 videos a week, so I would love for you to stick around. I was trying to get to 150. I don't know if that's possible. I have 9 to go and a week to do it, so let's see what we can do. And I will be here to talk about more DC stuff in the upcoming year, so please subscribe to stick around. And if you like this video while you're watching, give it a thumbs up. And I'm just going to give you kind of my thoughts, and this is more of a review. I'm not doing any sort of breakdown. I wanted to enjoy this movie and watch it fully without having to take any notes or anything like that. If you did watch any of my Mandalorian videos, that's where I will do note taking and we actually do breakdowns. But this was just watched it and took in my thoughts. So yeah, off the bat, I'm going to go ahead and say I do still prefer the first Wonder Woman. I thought pacing-wise it worked a little bit better. This movie, to me, starts off slow. I hate to say it, I waited a long time to watch this movie. I love Wonder Woman, and I do really enjoy this movie, so I will give this a disclaimer. I do think that there are elements from the first hour maybe they could have cut. The opening scene we saw most of in what they released. It is so long. They really played up the whole Amazonian games and that whole thing, and I get they were making a point that she cheated and all that, but it felt like it went on forever. That was really what stuck with me first. I was literally just can we get to more Wonder Woman stuff? And if we're talking about film-wise, this movie focuses a lot on Diana. And there's nothing wrong with Diana and all that sort of stuff. And I guess you can say the first one when she goes to London and all that kind of is her being Diana too. But we don't see a lot of Wonder Woman in this. And she appears Wonder Woman fighting. It doesn't appear until an hour into the movie. I mean, we get the fight scene in the mall, which we saw in some of the trailers. That was good. It was very over the top. It played very well with Maxwell Lord's speech. Just want to say, not even as a fan, but Pedro Pascal'S performance in this highlighted the whole movie. It was so good. He plays this hammy, over-the-top 80s sleazy businessman extremely well, and yeah, I loved it. I loved his chemistry and interactions with Barbara Minerva, Kristen Wiig's character. Really loved that. I thought her character was great too. I didn't really see her that much as a villain. When we talk about villains of this movie, of course we have Maxwell Lord, we have Cheetah. So there are villains of this movie. There are people that Wonder Woman has to fight. However, she doesn't succeed in getting it through brute strength. I mean, she does get her powers drained, but also you can't fight greed. And I don't know if they took this specifically because the first one was painful with the CGI fight at the end where she actually had to fight Ares. I thought that was ridiculous. It would have been so much better if she, kills Ares in this whole thing and it doesn't stop. Because it's the people. It's the reason that things are the way they are is because people are easily manipulated. People are easy to fight with one another. And the thing with this movie, it's people are easy to be greedy and selfish. Everybody always wants more, no matter who they're putting in the way of that. And you see that in the finale of this movie, and that's why I think this third act of this movie makes this great and so much better than the third act of the first movie. The first 2 acts of the first film I feel like are very strong and work a little better, but the third act of this movie is really good and tells a really important story. You know, the 80s are this time of oversaturation and all of this world of accession and all that, while at the same time, you know, we're going through the Cold War and there's all this stuff going on, which is definitely at play in this movie, as the main conflict doesn't really come between... The main conflict never really seems like it's Diana versus Cheetah. It seems like it's... or Diana versus Maxwell Lord. It seems like it's like the world against themselves. And in the third act, that is what they show. Wishing for other people to be dead and all this sort of crazy stuff. So it works really well in that sense, and I really do enjoy that. I thought visually Cheetah looks much better than I thought she did. Cheetah looked much better in the actual movie than she did in like the images we saw before in the trailers and stuff too. It works a little bit better. Obviously, DC is not the best at CGI, but I do think they succeeded at having it, especially in darker time, because it would have looked crazy if it had been really lit, so I think it worked better that way. A lot of tension between Barbara and Diana. You want to talk some of the stuff? I mean... Barbara and Max are getting a little flirty and Diana looks a little jealous, so you know, maybe she will love again with Barbara. Because let's talk about the fact that both of our villains are still alive. I thought this was great. I mean, if you're going for a superhero movie and all this sort of stuff, then you don't want to have people kill people off and all this. I thought they really showed Maxwell Lord very well at the end. Cheetah can somehow still get something back and become Cheetah again, and she's probably going to be really pissed at Diana for a very long time. But Maxwell Lord ended up giving all of this away. He renounced everything so that he could be with his son. And he came and told the truth to his son and did all this, and it was beautiful. And we saw a little glimpse of the truth of his story that he lived through, his life, and was sad and all of this, but he wanted to be a good father at the end for his son, which he was able to right almost until the end, which is powerful. I did see that coming a little bit, and I'm very happy that's how it went. Again, performance was amazing. There was so many different levels to this. I mean, he was goofy, over the top, silly, he was crazy, maniacal, he was this loving, caring father at the end. It was really, really, really good. I'm still blown away from it. It's like I can't even imagine. I think Gal's better in this movie as well. She has some strong emotional beats. I actually haven't mentioned Steve Trevor at all in this video. A little bit different than how I thought it was going to be. Knew he was going to be some sort of wish or mirage, which is what happened. But he, on the outside, looked different, so it was like his soul was put into somebody else's body, which I didn't think they were going to go that route. I still found it interesting then that they got Chris Pine to come back and play him, because poor other dude, I guess he's not as good. But I mean, at the end it makes sense, because maybe Diana's gonna fall into love with the actual guy that Steve's soul was into, you know, maybe that's what was gonna happen. Poor for that dude, he just got zapped out of there, like, no life for you. Chris Pine's great in this. I love him being like the little damsel in distress. Talk a little bit too about I'm trying to think of things I haven't talked about yet. Some of the fight scenes. Let's talk about some of the fight scenes. Talked about the mall fight scene already. Let's talk about the Egyptian desert fight scene. So they go to Egypt to try to find Maxwell Lord, where he's trying to swindle the oil out of the prince? I actually don't know the Egyptian government system, so I don't know if they have a monarch or what's going on there, but essentially the ruler. And some interesting stuff. We see Diana get hurt, which then we find out that Diana's getting power taken away from her, and that's how Steve was able to come back, because that's the thing that was taken from her. So every time you get a wish, they take something from you. So she was getting her powers taken away. So that was pretty good. Car flip. Pretty run-of-the-mill. Wasn't the highlight, I think, of that. I think my personal favorite fight scene was in the White House. They go to kind of get Maxwell Lord again. And that is when we first get Barbara against Diana. Really good. It's in the trailer where she's lassoing up Maxwell Lord and then Kristen Wiig comes in to save him. Diana realizes that she can't fight in this condition. So after that, she's like, Steve's gone. She announces her wish, so Steve's gone. She has her power back, but she's not able to fight. Let's talk about the Golden Eagle armor. So they reveal that this is the armor of Mysteria. She was one of the greatest Amazonian warriors. When mankind enslaved the Amazons, she stayed behind while Diana's mother guided all of the Amazons to safety to Themyscira, and she stayed behind. Diana had been looking for her for years, is what she says, and all she was able to find was her armor. So this is the Golden Eagle armor, also known as the Golden Chicken armor, as some people call it from the comics. And she uses this in the finale. She was using the wings at first, but then takes the wings off. Yeah, the wings are being clawed apart by Cheetah, so they weren't as effective. I mean, the armor is supposed to be strong enough to withhold against a bunch of men, and I guess not really. I mean, Cheetah must be this apex predator that she wanted to be, so A+ for that. But cross her wish, all great. Life is good at the end, you know. We get this whole speech about things are, you know, the truth is better than getting exactly what you want. Then Diana, maybe she'll fall in love again, and she's out in the snow and she sees the guy who Steve Trevor's soul took over, but and then she has a conversation with him, and then it's just like, yay, this is great, and maybe we're gonna have a happy ending after all. And then we'll talk a little bit about the post-credit scheme. I was a little confused. I thought this was gonna set up like, I was like, oh, what is Diana doing in this village and stuff, and she saves somebody. They're like, what's your name? Turns around, and it's Linda Carter is Mysteria, so I don't know if she will be in the next one, or if this is just the way to get Linda Carter in this, but absolutely amazing. Really, really loved it, and I thought that was a great tagline. So, yeah, overall, really liked this movie. I don't think I would be happy if I had to wait any longer, because the hype was dying down for me, I do admit that. So, but I did like this. I still think I like the first one, but again, like I said, third act makes this. I think Kristen Wiig and Pedro Pascal make this movie, so if you're fans of them or you want to see great performances, check it out for them. And yeah, those are my thoughts on Wonder Woman 1984. What did you guys think? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you think it was better than the first one? Did you think it was worse than the first one? Let me know all your thoughts down below. Let me know your favorite moment from the film. I would love to hear it, and I would love to have you guys subscribe and stick around for future videos. But anyway, Merry Christmas again. Even if you watch this on the 26th, happy Boxing Day, and I will see you on Tuesday with a new video. No, I will see you on Sunday with a new video. Thank you guys so much for watching.